Guys, I know you have been telling me for quite some time now, if you like clones of more expensive perfumes, you should try something from Parfums Vintage. So I did. I finally got my nose on some perfumes from Parfums Vintage. Most of you probably know already that this company, Parfums Vintage, has built itself by making clones of Aventus. So you do realize how great Aventus is. It is probably, as most of the people say, the greatest perfume of all times. If one company can build itself by making perfumes inspired from Aventus, then you do realize how big of a deal Aventus is. And I do have a couple of their inspired by Aventus releases, but these are not the ones I will be talking about in this video. In this video, I will be talking about one of their new releases called Sunset in Heaven. Now, if you haven't watched any other reviews on this one on YouTube, you don't know what's this supposed to smell like, because their bottles don't look like the perfumes they are inspired from, and the names don't give you a hint either. But this, my fellow fragrance lovers, this is a clone or inspired by Baccarat Rouge 540. Yeah, and it is a good one also. But let me show you another thing which I like about Parfums Vintage: the presentation. This is the box in which the perfume came, and I do really like it, especially because of this picture on the back. By the way, all of their boxes have this picture. It gives you the idea of something royal, something like from the age of Napoleon. Not all boxes do give you this idea. Most of the boxes you just open, throw them, never look at them again. There was one thing that bothered me a bit about the presentation of the bottle, and it was this sticker right here, because I've only used it a couple of times and it's already starting to look worn off. I was expecting something like on their first releases. Pineapple Vintage, for example, has this metal plate on it, which looks pretty cool in my opinion. Other than that, guys, their bottles look pretty simple, pretty practical, and the cap is wood and the sprayers are really cool. Check this out, they do release great amount of perfume. Even the sound is very satisfying. But enough about the bottles, let's talk about the scent. This does smell pretty close to Baccarat Rouge, but there is a difference. The difference is this, in the opening, smells spicy, a bit fresh spicy. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have really worn the original Baccarat Rouge, but let me tell you, it is straight linear. This one instead, it changes. Like in half an hour, it will become like Baccarat Rouge. Very similar. But now, in the opening, like I said, it is a bit fresh. And for some of you who love Baccarat Rouge, but you might get bored of it. I actually have a friend who told me, I've worn Baccarat Rouge so many times, but I got bored of it. And I understand, because it doesn't change, it's just a straightforward fragrance. This one instead might give you the change you need. Like, it's fresh in the beginning and then it remains the same until the end. Sweet, sexy, flowery fragrance, with jasmine being the main player in this one. I even actually compared it to Baccarat Rouge by Generic Perfumes, the oil I presented to you guys in a couple of videos ago. And I said that it was very, very similar to Baccarat Rouge. And yes, I still maintain my opinion. The difference is this is not fresh. It does not have the fresh opening of Sunset in Heaven. This is also an eau de parfum, and let me tell you guys, it does perform. It lasts a lot, over 8 hours, around 10 and a half, and it does project pretty nice. Final conclusion, guys, I'm pretty glad I got to try something from Parfums Vintage, especially this one. And if you are a fan of Baccarat Rouge, I can only say this: you don't need to buy the original anymore unless you want to pay tribute and respect for such a unique and awesome creation. But then again, if you don't want to spend so much on that fragrance, you can easily go with Sunset in Heaven by Parfums Vintage. That was it, guys. I hope that I again saved you some money by showing you another cheaper alternative of a more expensive fragrance. And until the next video, guys, of course, keep smelling great.